Imagine sitting in a meeting, staring at a spreadsheet, when your chest suddenly tightens. You're a capable professional in a familiar environment, but your body is reacting as if you're in a life or death struggle for air. This is the reality for people like Daniel, who feels a wave of panic whenever he gets emotionally close to his wife, or Sarah, who moved to a new city and immediately developed migraines that last for days, or Jordan, whose breathing becomes shallow and labored, specifically during performance reviews. Conventionally, we look at these as standard adult reactions to a difficult marriage, demanding in-laws, or a high-pressure career. But treating these as current-day stressors often fails to stop the symptoms. These physical responses are actually biological echoes of experiences that haven't yet been processed by the body. When we stop looking at the office or the living room and look instead at the history of the nervous system, a different pattern emerges. Daniel eventually connected his adult anxiety to the exact physiological signature of a childhood memory, being trapped in a locked bathroom at age 7. Sarah's migraines aligned perfectly with the month she began suppressing her own needs to meet her new family's expectations. And Jordan's asthma attacks mirrored the physical restriction he felt as a teenager when he was forced to stay silent during a frightening event. These memories aren't just sitting quietly in the past, they are actively running a background program that shapes how the body responds to the present day. The brain lacks a dedicated mechanism to distinguish between a physical threat happening now and a vivid memory of a threat from the past. This is state-dependent memory. When you recall a painful event, your brain fires the same neural pathways it used during the original experience. To your nervous system, the event is happening again in real time. As these pathways fire, the brain triggers a chemical release, flooding the body with cortisol and adrenaline. Repeating this cycle over years affects more than your mood. It disrupts digestion, suppresses immune function, and changes the way your DNA expresses itself to your cells. Emotional pain manifests as physical illness because the body treats these old wounds as fresh traumas that are continuously occurring. If reliving these memories causes this much internal stress, why do we find ourselves retelling these stories so often? There is a specific behavioral incentive. We share our pain to receive the immediate social benefits of sympathy and validation. While this provides a moment of emotional comfort, it keeps the body locked in a state of chemical alarm. Every time a memory is recalled, it undergoes reconsolidation. It becomes temporarily flexible before being stored again. When we vent about a memory without processing the underlying emotion, the neural groove thickens. Instead of releasing trauma, we reinforce the pathway, making the physical reaction stronger. Without a strategy for processing, we build a permanent neurological highway for our past pain. Because memories must become malleable to be recalled, they are uniquely vulnerable to change during that brief window. While you cannot delete the facts of a memory, you can change its emotional charge while the file is unlocked. This is why simply trying to ignore the past doesn't work. Suppression leaves the neural pathway active and unchanged. Effective change requires a brief, structured engagement with the memory, followed by a deliberate act of release. These exercises utilize the brain's own mechanics to signal the nervous system that a specific threat has passed, allowing the body to finally stand down. To try this, identify a specific memory, state it in a single sentence using the past tense, and as you do, throw your hand backward and away from your body. This physical gesture helps the brain categorize the event as something that is finished and behind you. You can also use symbolic closure, like imagining burying the memory in a vast desert, or watching it disappear on a plane heading over the horizon. For the weight of guilt, visualize yourself today speaking to the younger version of you who made that difficult choice. That younger self wasn't acting out of malice, but from a place of limited resources and a panicked nervous system. Let them see that the choice they made was the only one they felt capable of in that moment. Past pain only maintains its grip through our ongoing participation. By intentionally completing these cycles, you can set down the weight and move forward with a body that is no longer bracing for yesterday.